Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to another video. So in this video, I'm actually going to be talking about something called data store. Now, data store is often regarded as one of the most difficult things to understand while learning scripting, but I promise it's actually not that complicated, and I'm going to try to explain this really simply so everyone can understand. And we can dive straight into it. The first thing you want to do is go to game settings and save your game. Once that's done, you want to go to security and enable studio access to API services, because this is what's going to allow us to use data stores. So save that and you're good. So okay, let's dive straight into it. The first thing you want to do is add a script inside server script service. And here is where everything is going to be scripted. Now, what we want to do, firstly, before even accessing data stores, we want to create something called a leader stats folder, and that's what's going to actually be the data that we want to save. So to do that, you just do game.players.player_added connect function, and you get the player argument. Now you want to define the leader stats. It's going to be an instance.new folder, and you want to name the leader stats. So leader stats.name is going to be just leader stats, and not inside, but you want to place that leader stats inside the player. There you go. Now inside leader stats, you want to put an integer value, right? I'm going to name that integer value coins. So local coins is instance.new integer value. Now coins.name is just going to be coins, and coins.parent is going to be the leader stats. And I'm going to show you guys what that looks like. So when you hop in a game, this is the leader stats, and inside I'm going to show you here, we created the leader stats folder, and inside that we created the coins integer value, and this is it. This is how it displays in game. So okay, now you set a leader stats. Now I'm going to create a part that allows us to get coins. So to do that, you create a part. I'm going to add a click detector, and inside that I want to add a script, and it's going to be a really simple script. It's just script.parent.mouseclick connect function. You get the player argument. You're just going to want to write player.leaderstats.coins.value plus equals 1. That's it. So you're going to see this works. You see our coins, they go up. Now right now we have 17 coins. If we click stop and play again, we're going to have 0 coins, and that's because we don't save the data. So to be able to save data, you're going to want to define firstly a couple of things, and I'll explain later. So the first thing you want to define is the data store service, and that's just game get service data store service. And from that data store service, you want to define a data store get data store, and you can name it whatever. I'm going to name it coins. So I'm going to explain everything. The data store service is a service provided by the game that's going to allow us to create data stores, and data stores is what's going to allow us to save data. So to save data, the syntax is just data store set async, and you're going to want to have a key and a value. Now the key is an identifier. You can think of it like, I don't know, your passport, for example. This is what identifies who the player that wants to save something is. Okay, so imagine you have 3 players, and imagine that's their usernames. The key is going to be the player. Okay, now what you can do is you can set the key to player.name, but imagine if the player's name is this, he saves data, he changes his name to this, the next time he hops in a game, his previous data won't load again because his name is different. So he's going to lose all of his data if he changes his name, and we don't actually want that. We want something that will never change of a player, and that's the ID. The ID of a player is something that's unique to him, and it will never change. So well, to get the ID, you just do player.user_ID, and that's going to be the key. That's going to be the keys that we're going to use, because this will never change, and this will allow us to identify every single player, correctly. Okay. Now the value, the thing that we want to save, is literally just player.leaderstats.coins.value. That's the value that we want to save. Okay. Now there is one thing that I want to say. Imagine if you have multiple data stores. Okay. So imagine if I have data store 1 and data store 2, and all of these save different things. If I save everything under the same user ID, like under the same key, the data store 2 is going to override data store 1 and override data store. So every time you want to save something, you have to use a different key, or else it's going to override, one another. So to do that, we use something called concatenation, or I don't know how to pronounce it. You just do ... and you want to insert a string like cash. Okay, and for this you can do ... insert a string, I don't know, XP for example. And here you want to do ... levels for example. And this creates different data stores that won't overwrite one another, because the keys have to be different for different types of data. So it's important that you know that. But for this video, we're literally just going to use one data store, and that's the coins data store. So I'm actually going to copy this line, and I'm going to use it right now. So we want to save data when the players are getting removed from the game. So game.players.playRemoving connect function, and you get the player argument. Now what we can do is just paste this right here, but this won't always work, because Roblox, well, the data store of Roblox doesn't actually always work. Sometimes there's bugs, sometimes it doesn't, completely save, sometimes there's errors, and if there's an error, it's going to break the whole script, and we don't want that. So to avoid that, we use something called pcall function. Okay, and pcall function is just a method that we use to call a function, and if that function results in an error, it won't break the whole script. So to do that, you just do pcall function, and we can set all of this inside. Okay, now we want to define two variables. The first variable we want to define is a success variable, and success is going to be true if we actually save this, without any errors, and success is going to be false if we don't save this without any errors. And we also want to define the error message, because we want to know what the error is in the case that the success is false. So we can easily do this by saying local success comma error message is equal to pcall function and all of that. So now success and error message is going to be equal to the outcome of this. Okay, so if this saves successfully, success is going to be true, and we won't need to print the error message. And if it doesn't save successfully, then success is going to be false, and we're going to want to print the error message. So to do that, you just say if success, then print success, saving data, and else, so if success isn't true, you want to warn error message. And warn is literally just print, but in orange text. So if there is an error with saving the data, there's going to print out the error message in orange color for us to see. So we can test that. We haven't loaded the data, but we can test if it works. So if we click this, now we're at 15 and we stop, it's going to print success saving data. Now in most cases, it's going to be successful, but in some cases it won't. And in the cases that it isn't successful, our script won't break because of the pcall function. So, okay, this is basically the hard part. Now, you've learned how to save data. Now let's actually load the data to, save, well, not to save, but to load the coins value in the previous game session. So to do that, we can actually copy this, because again, sometimes loading the data will cause an error, and we don't want the error to break the whole script. So local success error message is equal to blah 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 blah. And the one thing that we're going to change is this line. Now to load, now remember how to save data, we use get async, or sorry, I'm sorry, to save data, you say set async. Well, to load data, you want to use get async. And the get async takes one argument, and that's just the key. You don't need the value, you just need the key. So here, you say data store get async, and the key is player.userid coins. Okay, that's the key. So now how do we make this equal to coins? Well, first we need to define a data, and the data is going to be equal to this. Okay, now remember, it's possible that this gives an error, so we're going to want to make sure that the coins will be equal to data if success is true. So if success, then coins.value is equal to data, and else just warn error message. And there you go. So, well, that's basically it. Now we've saved data and we've loaded data. So if we hop in the game, we have 15 now from the previous session. And if I go up to, I don't know, 43, let's say, 43, we stop the game and we load it again, we're going to have 43. So, well, that's it for saving and loading data. Well, I hope I explained it pretty simply. The important thing is that you understand the logic of setting the async and then getting the async. So it's literally just saving and loading, and the pcall function is really important because you might think that it will never cause an error, but if it does, your whole script will break and the whole game will break. So just this is how to do it properly, without causing any errors. So it's important that you do this and write it this way. Now if you want the scripts, I'll be posting them on the Discord server. I'm going to link it in the description section. You can just join, copy, paste, and then leave. It doesn't really matter. And okay, that's pretty much it for this video. I hope it was helpful. I hope you understood everything. And yeah, see you next time. Bye.